Hi, this is part 15 of the fire sermon. One of those things you wish you never started. So, the meal is ended, she's bored and tired. Tired as in tire, Carthage. Bored as in a panel of people. Bored in lodgings. I couldn't quite get to the bottom of that. Looping back to her drying combinations, I was thinking, could that be a prophecy about breaking the Enigma code? Endeavours to engage her in caresses is a repetition of that end and eng sound, which Enigma begins with. HMS Endeavour was a ship launched in 1764 known as the Whitby Cat locally. And I was thinking ships are often referred to as her, so it could be a ship, not persons, and ended up being a shipwreck in Newport, Rhode Island, 1778. There's a connection with Venus. So 1768, King George III petitioned the ship to transit the Pacific to see the transit of Venus, and it was Captain James Cook who was commissioned to do that. At the time, it was called the Earl of Pembroke. It was later decommissioned, and when it sunk, I think it was called the Earl of Sandwich too, after being recommissioned. Lots of blah, blah, blah. Incidentally, Sandwich was a town that was of vital interest to the history of the Huguenots. But I was thinking about this connection to this idea of the Whitby Cat, because it made me think of John Whitby, Admiral Cornwallis's friend. Sir William Cornwallis left his Newlands estate to John's daughter Teresa, whose son William Cornwallis West inherited it. So the ship sank in Newport in the US during the War of Independence, I think. But there are 3 Newports that I know of in the UK, one in Wales, one in Lance and Cornwall, associated with Charles Causley's poetry, and one on the Isle of Wight. Given the Whitby connection in Cornwallis, I was thinking of the Isle of Wight. Could caresses link to Carisbrooke Castle? I think I've mentioned before, not in connection with the wasteland, Newport is where Elizabeth Stuart was allegedly buried. I say alleged because I like a little bit of mystery, and I think maybe she escaped. Bizarrely, I was researching about Newport, anything interesting, Carisbrooke, etc. There was an SOE operation in World War II to bring garlic to the French soldiers there at the Painters' Arms. Now, it's entirely possible that people risked their lives to bring garlic, or that was a cover name operation, etc., for something else. Garlic is cloved, so something cloven, possibly related to a relic. The root of clove could be from Latin clavus, a synonym of ergot, and also relates back to the nail, so valve. Also the helm of a boat or a purple stripe on a tunic. In World War II, there was a ship called HMS Carisbrooke Castle. Bearing in mind a castle plays a role in Grail mythology, so a literal enactment of the Grail legend, and it was part of the Fishery Protection Squadron, so it relates to the Fisher King. And they are the oldest squadron in the UK, dating from at least 1481. I have a little bit more.